no negotiation at all with the United States, essentially until they meet their request here. Hang on, I gotta.
Craig, I just
One
put
quick
in the nest
question.
the video of the F-15 falling in Kuwait. It's a very scary scene. You can see it up in the nest.
Yeah, no, I was trying to. So I understand the aircraft. Yeah. So obviously it was an F-15. There are quite a few nations, and this is why I was somewhat hesitant. There are quite a few nations in the Middle East that operate the F-15 frame. Israel is obviously one of them. The United States, Kuwait has some. Saudi Arabia has some. A lot of nations in the Middle East use the
Star.
F-15 platform. So identifying whose jet it was, I think, is an issue, and I obviously will keep an eye on any casualties that result from it. There is, yeah, that does not look like a good incident that took place there. But I did want to, and I'm not trying to stall the conversation. There is a statement here that I think is worth describing. Ajani is currently the head of the Supreme Council, right? So he's basically the one that is, from a public perspective, calling the shots. And there is a statement that I do want to share of his that I think bears repeating. Um, and then I'll get to the U.S. news. He came out and he said, I'm trying to get to it. He said that there's just so much news. I beg you, just bear with me, folks. Just bear with me. I'm trying to.
Craig, side note,
Yeah.
Zen's been putting his hand up for a while now.
Who
Just saying.
has?
Zen.
Forgive me. I do.
No, no
Okay.
worries. I mean, that was one thing I wanted to raise to the X space was I don't even know when my hand's raised before anyone else's.
It does
You
happen.
know, so
It is a glitch with the space. You sometimes can drop off, and then we can try to add you back in, and it'll fix itself. But it's just such a
I,
reoccurring issue that
I mean in the sense that like I would raise my hand and then I'd see someone else raise their hand and there's two or three other people that would raise their hand in the
yeah,
chat that you guys seen, but
yeah,
we didn't see it. You know, so
yeah,
it's kind of like a glitch in that sense because
yeah. I
I,
do
I
want
was
to.
always curious about that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Zen, if you could please go ahead. I didn't see your hand up. Forgive me. I would have gone to you earlier if I could have seen your hand to emphasize the point. So Zen, please go ahead.
Yeah, Zen, you ready? Well, he might not be ready now. He was doing a lot of time earlier, but
I couldn't. I could not see it. We are having a little bit of an issue here. Um,
yeah.
but
Yeah, that's what I was so curious about. I kept on raising my hand. I'm like, oh, I'm the first one in line. What's happening here? And it was just, there's probably plenty of people ahead of me, but I didn't see it. You know?
yeah, we're also getting reports of massive alerts throughout Judea and Samaria region of Israel. Essentially, the entire middle of Israel is under basically a red alert. Um, uh, Apparently, there's some reports that the F-15 shot down was friendly fire. Uh, we have no confirmation on that, but that is some of the issues that we.
In Arabic, they are saying it's an American plane.
Okay, so yeah, we'll wait for confirmation on that. I think that's definitely something you want to the first American fighter jet. Yeah, I think that's something we're going to wait to confirm. It does appear. So, like I said, I did deal a lot with logistics and looking at these. I'm looking at the video now. I'm trying to identify. So I have two parachutes. I see two parachutes. The airframe, the coloring of the airframe would make it look like it is an American jet here. Hang on one second. I'm sorry. I'm getting a lot of. Hang on one second, folks. I'm sorry about that. Can you all hear me now? I'm sorry.
Yeah. It,
Okay.
We hear you.
it's
No, I'm
they
sorry. I
both
don't.
survived, it looks like, and it's claimed to have been friendly fire potentially.
I saw the two chutes come out, so I saw the two chutes. So those pilots definitely ejected. I will say, in my experience, that a jet and pilots ejecting at that altitude is extremely both dangerous and very strange. Um, that usually in aircraft, you're either coming in for a landing or you're taking off at that altitude. You're not cruising at that altitude for various reasons. But the altitude of that intercept or that strike against an American jet leads me to believe that it was friendly fire. because at that altitude, like I said, you're either taking off or you're landing. F-15s have a very high degree of acceleration to altitude, so it does seem like it is friendly fire, especially over Kuwait. We don't know what kind of munition was used to strike it. I'm trying to see the video, but if I watch the video, I can't hear the mic. So I will depend on some of my compatriots here to go through this, but that would be that would all in all likelihood be friendly fire. You're not going to get an Iranian missile or even an F-15 at that altitude in that geography. So Larry, I see your hand is up. If you want to go ahead, Larry, please. We lost Larry. I hope that's not because he's allergic to me. Let me see here. We're trying to get Larry back up. Zen, are you back with us?
I'm on another call.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Yeah, you take your time. So, did you want to say something? Oh, you're on the call. Okay. If y'all can bear with me, I did want to get back to. Uh, oh, Larry's back. Larry, please go ahead.
Hey, thanks, Craig. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Hey, my question is for Nas. I go back. I'm in my 60s. I was in the Army, back at Fort Bragg when the American embassy was overtaken. Was that not, Nas? Wasn't that taken over by the MEK and not the Revolutionary Guards?
No, it was the university students. It was taken. It was taken by the university students. They did not belong to any of those organizations.
But wasn't it taken over by Mariam? Uh,
Oh, you mean
uh,
the lady? Yes, in the
yes,
opposition.
yes, sir.
I can. I think she was very young at that time. I can check it in a minute. But it wasn't in the name of the organization, because the issue here is we heard our friends talking about the Shah having cancer, and then when he left Iran, he tried to go somewhere for treatment. He couldn't. His plane was flying around
Right.
until he landed in Mexico. And then they contacted President Carter, who was trying to negotiate with the Iranians. So they let him come to uh, a hospital in San Antonio on the condition that he will come in a car and no one will know. And the press found out. The news was all over the world. The Iranians got angry because they feel cheated, and the students took over the embassy.
Yeah, because that's what was confusing me with the early conversation. Because when I was in the military, we were given briefings that it was the MEK, the students, that actually overtook the embassy, and at that time it was Mariam who was running or was the head of that organization.
No, there was no organization. It was just the students. But I will give you the information in a couple of minutes.
I can answer that.
Go ahead.
No, it was parallel student organizations were aligned with Imam Khomeini at the time. It was like I don't remember the exact name, but Maryam Rajavi at the time was not the head of that organization. It was basically his late husband, Saeed Rajavi, and they were not involved in taking the embassy. It was some of the university student that was aligned with the basically Islamist faction of Khomeini at the time.
Yeah, I should have prefaced that she actually took over the organization after his 2002 disappearance, right?
Right. She was not she was at the time was married to someone in the second in command in that organization, and she was not involved, or the whole organization was not involved in that incident.
Thank you for that clarification. Appreciate it.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're actually starting to get. Okay, so we're actually starting to get reports of a lot of explosions in Doha. Again, please bear with me. I'm trying to cycle the news as I get it. So Dubai and Doha, we're getting reports of explosion. We're also seeing, so those attacks are still ongoing, which is somewhat of a concern here. Um, there was an idea that what we saw them do um, was more or less a reaction to the killing of the supreme leader, and that we had thought that this was more or less kind of a manic attack, but these attacks are continuing on civilian areas within the Gulf states, which is concerning from many levels, especially given that a lot of these states have said that they will respond and they will defend themselves if Iran does continue to attack them. There had been some instances where Iran had said sorry about that, more or less. That we're gonna tamp that down, but more explosions are being reported there. Um, there's also more news. Again, folks, just bear with me. I'm trying to kind of keep this going. Okay, so Iran. Okay, so explosions over Doha. So Iranian missiles they've launched. Okay, so they've launched a brand new wave of missiles and drones against Doha, Kuwait, Dubai, and Bahrain. Okay, so we do have video of the American pilot that ejected. He was actually in the trunk of a car. It does look like he has suffered minor injuries. And then let's see here. I think we, yeah. So this wave of ongoing strikes is not being isolated to the United States or Israel. It seems like it is going to be a continuous objective of the IRGC or the Iranian regime itself to continue these attacks on GCC member states. So yeah, and again, I apologize if I don't see your hand. There appears to be a glitch in the space. I think we just had a new film school. I think we just finished. Just a little bit of a glitch with the space, and apparently my mic.
Craig,
Yeah, Zen.
Craig, I sent you a DM. Could you check your message, please? Thank you.
Sure. Give me 1 second, please. Hang on 1 second.
You are talking about the attacks on Bahrain.
Yes. No, we do have reports of a lot of attacks on Bahrain.
They shot a missile yesterday, I believe, into a neighborhood called Jafar, where a lot of military personnel were housed at. I believe the Iranians are trying to hit soft target neighborhoods around U.S. bases to get U.S. KIAs to change the narrative of the American public or create U.S. casualties. And
a bigger objective for Iran by attacking Bahrain. Bahrain is majority Shia. Recently, there's a huge protest of Bahraini Shiites in support of Iran. What they're probably trying to do is basically create enough chaos in Bahrain to potentially have an uprising of Shiites to possibly, take over Bahrain. Just my thoughts. I think there's the Iranians have for many years have had issues with a Sunni minority controlling a Shia majority Bahrain. I thought that angle needs to be also taken into consideration.
Against the Lebanese capital of Beirut.
I think
we can show you some pictures.
There's definitely a lot of
these.
moving
Now,
pieces
these are
to
live
this,
pictures from
to what Iran is doing. Again, not to sound redundant, but there was this feeling that they had essentially kind of lashed out at the world for what happened. But these attacks that continue are somewhat concerning, not just from a geopolitical standpoint, but from a understanding of who's attacking and why are they doing it, right? I think that there's geopolitical issues at stake here, but there's an underlying issue of why, right? There's fallout from it, but what could be the cause of it, I think, is somewhat concerning to a lot of observers in the region as to why they're doing this. So yeah, it appears that the pilots are alive from the F-15. It does appear to be friendly fire again, as we had thought. And so there is okay. There is some, yeah. Okay, so we do have confirmation of that. It appears to have been friendly fire very clearly. So there are also, okay, so we're also getting reports that are interceptions in the skies. So there's salvo, but there are interceptors that are trying to catch these. Of course, that they're not getting them all. I do want to, okay. So give me 1 second here, folks. I know I'm working on my mic and I know I'm working on breaking news. We are getting a lot of it, by the way. It is coming very quickly now. It appears that the RAF base in Cyprus was also hit by a suspected drone strike. Okay, so it's kind of pouring in at this point, folks. Give me just a second here. We're getting a lot. It's coming pretty heavy. Okay, so the RAF base in Cyprus was hit by a suspected drone strike. The Minister of Defense has said. We're also getting the defense launches additional wave of strikes against Lebanon. Okay, so it is approximately, just so everybody's aware, it is approximately 8:56 a.m. right now in Iran. So I think this is in the early morning hours here. Okay, so they've also said that the Homefront Command update has said it is possible to exit the protected spaces throughout the country. So they've given us essentially the all clear in Israel for right now. That appears to have been okay. So everybody's been given the all clear in those areas in Israel. It appears also that Al Qaeda has targeted a British base in Cyprus with 2 drones. One of them was downed. So yeah, it's coming.
Oh, side note, Craig.
Yeah.
They've been doing this type of evacuation notice for like weeks.
Yeah. Welcome, Ryan, to the space here. We'll wait for you to connect. Let me see here. All right, folks. It's coming. It's coming pretty fast. I'm getting stuck.
Vance or Marco Rubio. And I hope I'm wrong, but I think it's going to be very hard for them to win if this especially goes to the midterms, because I'm in Texas. We just had our primaries and 250,000 people voted in the Democrat primary more than the Republican primary. That's an incredibly bad sign. That means that they actually have momentum. The left is actually, dialed in this time. They have all the energy, and Donald Trump should have some energy, but the country's not a great place right now, and I especially when the gas prices start to go up because the Strait of Hormuz gets bombed or whatever, whatever reason, things are really going to get tight because that makes the food at the grocery store go up. That makes the plane tickets go up. That makes everything rise, and we already have an affordability crisis in the United States. So if we do not start fixing this country, and I'm not saying that, I know that's a little reductive and too simplistic, but if we don't start making policies that actually help Americans, then the country's lost. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a conservative, doesn't matter if you're liberal, like, we're just fucked. We're just going to be a country with no identity with a bunch of illegal immigrants running the show. And it's just a scary future that we're looking at. And on top of this, though, this is the one point that I do want to make. And I started off by saying this. Israel likes this because they needed this, because now, just like October 7th, how you'll never stop hearing about October 7th, 2023, October 7th. Now we'll never not hear them use this war as an excuse for us to be scared of Muslims and why we got to do all this stuff, fight all these wars, because they're always going to show us these pictures. And I wouldn't be surprised if Israel doesn't want one of our aircraft carriers to sink. Like, I think Israel is actually, they want to take some damage so they can radicalize the people and gain support. It's like 9/11. What's the whole point of a false flag attack? To scare the population to think that they're actually under threat, when in reality, it was America that walked off the negotiation table with Iran. So this is already a foregone conclusion before one bomb was dropped that Miriam Adelson, Mark Levin, Laura Loomer, they all told Trump, we have to do this. And they knew knew before they dropped one bomb, they knew that Americans were going to die, people in Israel were going to die. But to them, you got to crack a few eggs to make an omelet, and they could care less.
Just some more breaking news, guys. 15 explosions heard in Bahrain. The U.S. embassy is up in flames. A major, major blast at the sorry, the U.S. embassy, the American base in Bahrain. A major, major blast. I'll put the tweet out. It's in my page. It's significant. We've also got visuals of the American pilot where the jet went down. The American pilot is. We've got the first visuals of the American pilot, and it's not a great look. This isn't looking good for the United States of America whatsoever. Alex, really do appreciate you coming on the space. Obviously, more than welcome to stay. But where can people find you? I know you got your page. We can follow you on your page. What else?
Please follow me. Watch my show, Real America's Voice. Tomorrow I'm going to get dialed in and talk about this Iran war. But Jay, does he want to ask me a question? Jay seemed like he really want to ask me a question.
Nah, I don't want to. He's just going to.
Okay.
He's probably just want to debate about conspiracy theories, and I want to keep the.
I have a question.
Okay. Yeah. Any questions I'd love to answer.
Go ahead,
before I
Amira.
go.
May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right. I want to say that you cannot. It is so wrong of you to give Trump a pass and say that he was tricked into this war. That is, I mean, he is
tricked. Well, Amir, real quick. I mean, it's not tricked. He got $250 million from Miriam Adelson. And I know you want to sit here and virtue signal just like I want to virtue signal. But if somebody gave you $250 million and they told you to get in a thong and dance, you would do that. If they gave you $250 million and told you to go bomb Israel, you would do that. That's how the world works. Everybody has a price. Even you, even Suleiman, even me. And whether that's good, bad.
I don't have a price. I cannot be bought. I do not
for
have a price.
$250 million, Suleiman, you would go and move to Israel. They could get you to.
Let me see the deal.
Suleiman,
deal. Rejected.
If they offered you $250 million, you would move to Tel Aviv.
I'd reject it
tomorrow.
I would never move to Tel Aviv. I would not take $250
But nobody's ever going to offer you $250 million, and he's gotten more than that. Trump's probably got $1 billion.
$10 million, and I said no, Alex Stein. I would say no to $250 million.
I don't believe that. But listen, it doesn't make Trump, honorable for doing that. I'm just saying that people have a price, and you spend that much money, whether we want to admit it or not. And
what's your
Trump
price, Alex? How much can they buy you for?
How much could Israel buy me for now? If they gave me,
how much can anyone buy you for?
Anybody? I mean, just off the street, probably 10 mil. I would probably do about anything for probably 10 mil. But I wouldn't eat meat for 10 mil, but I would do basically anything else. And I'm just being real. I know everybody's like, oh, you're a shill, you're this and that. Just trust me, money talks, bullshit walks when people are actually giving it to you. And I've been offered money to do stuff and I've turned it down because it's never been a significant amount. I'm just trying to be real. It's like, this is what it goes down to. If you're a professional athlete, would you trade the $250 million contract to play on a team that you know is going to stink? Or would you take less money to be on a team to win a championship? Most people take more money to be on a team that stinks. That's just the reality of the situation. So I'm just trying to be a realist right now. I know that might piss people off, but Trump has a price. Israel paid it, and now all these people are dying, and that's just the reality.
But you know what, America.
Okay, let me just get some breaking news. A short while ago, the IDF identified missiles launched from Iran towards Israel. So we've got another launch, a barrage of missiles towards Israel. And it says, Iranian missile waves launched again to. So let me repeat that. It says blessed, but anyway, Iranian missiles launched towards Israel right now. We're also hearing of explosions in Tehran. Apparently, this can't be real. Another F-15 jet may have gone down. Another F-15 jet may have gone down as well. That's the breaking news. We've got lots of news coming out at the moment, but it may be another jet may have gone down. I just need to verify it, but that is the latest news. Alex, appreciate.
Before I go, Suleiman, I want to say that I want to ask one question. They're saying only 3 people have died. Obviously, more than 3 people have died. What was the reports that they killed 500? Was that all BS, or was there any truth to that?
That's from Iranian media saying 500. The Americans first said 0, then they said 3. So I don't know. I think the truth will be probably somewhere in the middle, but that's kind of the different reporting.
Well, thank you for having me. And Amira, listen, I'm not saying Donald Trump's perfect, but Donald Trump is a guy that values money more than he values anything in the world. So I'm kind of joking. Nobody's ever offered me a ton of money, but if you're Donald Trump and you value it, you're going to do whatever the people pay you say. That's just how it works. That's how the real world works. I know a lot of times we want to pretend and virtue signal and live in like la la land, but
No,
like
I'm
I
not.
said
Wait a
earlier,
minute. I'm not virtue signaling because there was a lot of mom and pops that are broke that were giving him money. This whole country believed that there was going to be no more wars. That he truly believed what he was campaigning on. So he might have gotten
well,
250
well,
million.
Amir, real quick, I do think that he campaigned that he didn't want wars. I don't even think Donald Trump wants this war. Honest to God, I don't think Donald Trump wanted this war. I just think that Miriam Adelson and Mark Levin, they're all in his ear and they're told him that it's the right idea. So Donald Trump is a smart guy, but I don't think he's, he's not clairvoyant.
He's
He can
weak.
be manipulated just like
He's a
anybody
dick.
else. Well, listen, he had
Whatever.
sex
I
with.
mean,
I'm saying he had sex with Stormy Daniels, so he's not like the most perfect guy. The guy will like throw away his whole life for a little bit of pussy, like that just kind of shows you that we should have known that. I mean, and I did know that. That's why like still support Trump because I know that he fucks the whores, and I know that he'll do anything for money because that's really kind of humanizes him, whether we want to admit that or not. And Donald Trump is a human just like you and I, so this is an embarrassment for America so far, and I think it's only going to make a rise in Islamophobia and anti-Semitism in the world. So this is going to be a net negative for society. Even when this war ends, it will be a net negative. Nobody benefits from it, unless Israel wants more people to hate them. So that there is a real conspiracy that Professor Jang said that is kind of brilliant. That the only way that the Messiah can come back in Judaism is if the whole entire world turns on them. And that is the only way. They got to build a third temple. And then, so maybe they want the Al Aqsa Mosque to get bombed accidentally. So then they can start building the third temple. And then they can alienate America. And then they have India as their backup plan for anything that they need. They have one, world power with some nuclear weapons that are fake. But that's another argument for another day. And then they don't even have to worry about America. And then they'll have America hating them, Iran hating them, China hating them. And then they believe that their Messiah will come back. So a lot of this is messianic, and it's not just about expanding the greater Judea project. A lot of this is old Hebrew biblical stuff that we're not even probably foreseeing. Like they got a plan that's been written 2,000 years ago that they've been trying to do, and that's why they did the red heifer ceremony already. Like they want the Messiah to come back, and Benjamin Netanyahu is he's just the poster boy for it. He doesn't. I don't even think he's calling the shots. There's definitely some guys that are really calling the shots.
Thanks for that, Alex. Alex, anyway, thanks for coming. Appreciate you. Let me just quickly give breaking news, but yeah, I appreciate you coming on, and we'll definitely get you back on again. Appreciate Alex. I know he could trigger a lot of people. He's like a comedian. It's hard to describe him. So the first time people come across him in the political sphere, you could probably be shocked. But he's like more of this like comedian, conspiracy theory guy. There's not a conspiracy theory. This guy doesn't.
And you only let me up after he leaves, and I wanted to talk to him. I
No,
can't.
I didn't want to. I don't
Please.
want to take it down to the conspiracy theories. That's the whole point. I was trying my best to keep it away. Jay was trying to drag us down there, and I was like, "Look, Jay, it's not happening." So I was trying my best to keep it away because it's a political space. But we'll get him on again, Matrix, for like an actual after the war's over, like for a banter space. I don't mind getting Alex on because I think what's happened is like this is a good example. When he came across, he didn't come across well because we're in the middle of a war, and people kind of are seeing like some of the things he's saying and thinking it's a bit more serious than it really is. He's like a comedian. Like, for example, he dressed up as an Indian guy and he was like, "I am Indian," and he went into like a council meeting in the United States. So he's like a comedian guy. He's like a joke guy, and but then also not joking guy. And he's into all the conspiracy. Like he believes in Tartaria, he believes in flat Earth, he believes in like nuclear bombs are not real. He doesn't believe in anything. He's like full on everything's conspiracy theory. Just to be clear on that. Okay. Oh God. Okay, let's bring it back to the conversation. I've put a tweet in the nest. I know I haven't even put it on the nest. It's a tweet saying the foreign American base in Bahrain is up in flames. There you can see the smoke rising on my page. It is ferocious. It is not looking great. They are hitting hard. There is also missiles that have been struck in. The missiles have been sent to Israel as well. Okay, that's the latest news. Let me bring someone in because that was a lot of that was quite draining. Let's go to somebody who wants to speak. Miz, tell us something that isn't. Have you got anything? Anybody want to say? The jet's down. America,
Yeah.
Amira or Miz, anyone? American jet is down. We're seeing American bases being lit up in the Middle East. Bahrain's being hit. Any thoughts on that, guys?
Is that the one that the guy ejected himself and survived, or this is another one? I know you said the second one, but I don't. I think.
Yeah. So there's
Just to clarify, there is no second one. Just to be clear, it's only been one.
No, Nathan, can you not interrupt, please, in that
Oh,
regard,
sorry.
unless you know what I'm talking about. So I'm not talking about the image you sent. I know you sent a still image of the exact same thing. I put a video out of an unfair verified report that there allegedly is a second also jet that's gone down, which is separate to the one you said. It's not the image, because I know you misunderstood. I thought that the image you sent was a still image, and I thought it was a second jet, but hopefully that clarifies it. Okay, Amira, tell us. Jump in, please. Give me a bit of a
Police,
respite.
yes, 1 minute, 1 minute.
Tell us why. I mean, look, American soldiers have died for Israel already. Could be a lot of more soldiers than we think. A lot of American military bases are being hit. What's your thoughts?
Amira?
I'm sorry, I missed the question. What's the question?
Here, I got you. So the question was that there was three, CENTCOM already talked about three American soldiers being shot. And, you know, there's reports that there's possibly more. I think that's what he asked you. What do you think about the whole thing? And take a breath, take a minute, Solomon. I got it. I can go through these hands while you chill for a second or until you get more news.
Well, honestly, as an American, I should be saying that this is a shame and I hate to see this. But because I am an American, I'm here for it because we deserve it. I don't know what to say. I hate to see death, but we have completely wreaked havoc in the Middle East for years, and millions of people are dead because of us and Israel. And it's time for the bully to get kicked in the teeth. That's how I feel about it. I'm sorry. Makes me a bad patriotic American.
So do you think, and then we'll go to Jay, but so in a sense you're saying that this, but do you think that like there's Americans now that are looking at this situation as it being potentially more than just a strike? And like, because that's what the rumor is. The rumor is it's not a war, it's just a surgical strike. That's like, if you actually type that in the search, you'll see all these accounts pull up because that's the narrative. But he keeps saying there will be more, right? So do you think that this might kind of wake up a lot of the patriots and wonder if being a, I don't know, being a patriot right now is a good thing? I don't know. I'm seeing people that actually were the late ones that are still supporting Trump, but kind of waking up that this was crossing the line. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there are a lot of Americans that are believing everything that Trump is saying right now, and there's a lot that are not. I think that when they start seeing the effects of it, and men dying, and gas prices going up, and all the things, and they see all the destruction, they don't like war. Americans, we're tired. We are fatigued from the Middle Eastern stuff. It's been my whole entire life. My entire life, this has been going on, and Americans and I think people are pretty much awake to it. But again, like I have a friend for 25 years who was the biggest anti-war. I mean, we were politically on the same page always, and he was so anti-war. He's supporting this and calling me a liberal because he believes in all that cute bullshit. So I just don't know. I don't know. And I believe that there are going to be terrorist attacks, fake ones, false flags, just like that other one that just happened. And I wanted to say something to Alex about that because he brought it up. But in Washington, D.C., they had done a Google search on that guy's name 2 weeks ago. So they're going to do this to try to rally Americans to support this.
Just some thanks, Mira. Appreciate it. Some more breaking news. A large amounts of red alerts in Israel. A huge number of red alerts in Israel. There is missiles that have been fired towards Israel. Large amount of red alerts in central Israel is probably the more accurate way of saying it. Obviously, guys, because we're gonna have a lot of alerts coming in, we may be interrupting you guys, so apologies for that. But yeah, large amount of red alerts when it comes to Israel. I want to just welcome Dalton to the space. Dalton, hope you're doing well. I know you served in the American military. You're now seeing that American soldiers are dying for Israel. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I understand the intensity behind that question. and sort of, and not to say that you're doing it necessarily to, incite emotion, but that question does incite emotion. And the reason why I called in is because I've been listening for a while, and I think that I might offer a bit of a different perspective. And Suleiman, I'm sure you can expect that from me, because while I am anti-Israel, I'm certainly pro-American imperialism and domination. So it's a weird, it's a little bit different than what some people up here, believe in and agree with. But my framework is, as an American nationalist, as an American patriot that did 4 years in the military and loved every bit of it. I look at what's going on as us essentially being Israel's bitch. Um, Recent reports, I don't know if you saw this, Suleiman, but from the Wall Street Journal, Israel apparently was going to strike Iran regardless of what America did or did not do a few days ago. And that to us is probably very obvious, because this is a tale as old as time. This story rhymes. It continues to happen over and over again. But what I will say is, if America wants to dominate that region for any reason, if it's oil, if it's a strategic advantage against China, if it's intelligence, whatever it may be, I think that America could do so far more effectively without being beholden and essentially cucked by the leading international funder of terrorism, which is Israel. I think that they are totally screwing us over in every way, shape, and form. And I think that the administration, and that includes Donald Trump, they are totally warped, not necessarily by blackmail or deception. I think that they genuinely believe that this is, our greatest ally, because of the propaganda, right, and the nature of the beast that we're dealing with. So while I'm not necessarily for what's going on, I admire American might and superiority. I think that it would be fantastic if we could, if we could have done it in a better way. And I think that Trump, back in 2014, 2015 was talking about this. There are ways that we could have worked with the Ayatollah. And I think that it could have been a very prosperous relationship. Literally, the reason why Iran and many of these Middle Eastern countries don't want to work with us is because of the destabilization effort that Israel has brought upon them, on behalf and sort of with our co-signature on all of these different conflicts. So yeah, fuck Israel. That's my take. Sorry to rant, but
All good, Dalton. Let's I don't know if somebody wants to respond to Dalton. If you do, go ahead. But if not, let's go to Miz.
Okay,
Well,
yeah, I will. Oh, go ahead, Mace.
yeah, well, I guess I do have a question for him, because I know that there is obviously there seems to be this strengthening of a relationship to where now it's almost like it's this, and I hate to say this, but like I feel like this is a reality that people are going to be woken up to. The US dash Israeli is the label is on all of our legislation. Like if you go to right now and you type in Israel inside of like congress.gov, the amount of legislation that's strengthening this relationship for them to almost be like one is wild. What do you think that, like, would you feel the same way if they do unite forces? Like, how would you deal with that? I guess.
yeah, I mean, I fundamentally am of the opinion that America should be working, uh, essentially by itself. I mean, I think that we should have proxy states. I think that, Venezuela was an excellent uh, operation, what we did with Maduro. I think that going in decisively with no civilian casualties, focusing on a very strategic target is ideal. And I think that we are capable of doing that entirely on our own without any assistance from anyone else. I think that the purpose of proxy states is to give us intelligence, give us trade routes, and ensure that we have like close contact with those that we do deem as enemies. For example, I think that our partnership and alliance with Taiwan is very beneficial to us. And I think it makes a lot of sense for us to go, if China were to do something, I think it would make sense actually for us to defend Taiwan against China. With that being said, Israel, I don't have to explain this to you guys, does not offer us anything that we could not be getting ourselves, manufacturing ourselves. They are a parasite. So
Well, we're becoming really dependent, I think, on their intelligence all of a sudden. Like, this is a new thing where we're really kind of investing in their ability to do cybersecurity services for all of our critical infrastructure, which is insane. Like, I don't know if you heard of CTI League and all that, but they
well,
apparently.
yeah, this is how they're going to integrate themselves, and they're going to make themselves inseparable ultimately. I mean, that's their entire desire, and I think that we're rapidly moving toward uh, a situation where we need to there needs to be someone that can go in there and either cut this cyst off of the body, or we're going to be totally uh joined together with them for a very long time, and it's not going to look good. And in fact, they are going to have a strategic advantage over us. Imagine America, the greatest empire, the strongest country in the world, deemed by many and looked upon with admiration and respect by many nations. Imagine that we are now all of a sudden totally subservient to Israel. That's hilarious and very frightening.
Some more
I
breaking
agree
news.
100%.
Appreciate it. Some more breaking news. We now have visuals. This is on my page. Shame I put it in the nest. We've got some visuals now. There has been visuals. It does look like the US F-15 was hit and taken out by a shot. I mean, I can't tell if it's the engine blew out or it actually was a shot, but it does look like it just from when you're looking at and you're doing the slow mo. But yeah, we have got like visuals.
I saw someone say it was friendly fire.
No, who said that?
That's what I read. I don't know. That's what I read. I'll try to find the tweet.
Okay, I doubt that. So yeah, they have been hit. They have been hit. So the F-15 jet was taken out. It is. You can see the visuals of that coming out. We also have the visuals of the American fighter as well. So that's kind of what the information is. There's been there's been bombardment of Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv has now been bombarded. Let's see what else we got. Towards a number of other GCC countries. Okay, who was going to jump in? Was it Amira? I forgot who it was now.
Well, just really quickly,
I just
also
sent you
there
the
was
tweets.
31, Israel strikes, kills 31 people in Lebanon. This was as of 3 minutes ago, including senior members of Hezbollah.
I sent you two tweets on it in the DMs.
Appreciate that. I'll take a look. All right. Was there anything else you wanted to add, Miz, or should we go to
Yeah, I just
Amira?
want to say, like,
God.
what about this Middle Eastern everything we've done in the Middle East and all of our bases and all the things that, all these wars, the $8 trillion spent in the Middle East was not to build up America. Look at our country, look at our debt, look at around, look at, has your life been better? No. But it's for the greater Israel. It's for their project. It's not for us. It doesn't benefit us. So this imperialism is complete and total bullshit, because we're not being imperialist. We're helping Israel become imperialist in that Middle East and be the king of the Middle East. So that's ridiculous. And then
Well,
also,
on that,
as
Amira,
far as
it didn't benefit Americans, the average American. It didn't benefit them. They got harmed, but it did benefit someone actually. It was the military-industrial complex. It was the Jewish Zionist oligarchs. They financially benefited though a lot. They did really well. But sorry, God.
yes, of course, and our troops are still committing suicide to this day. So if that's what your idea of imperialism, you can shove it. And also the Venezuela thing, the oil, they shipped it to Israel. So Enjoy your imperialism.
Yeah, if I could jump in real quick, I
Just
think
on that, Jay, I'm going to give it
Dalton's.
straight back to you, but just on that, the one that said friendly fire, that's from Austin Defender, the biggest Zio shill account there is on the whole of social media. So he's just lying, basically, in order to make it look like it wasn't hit, just to let you know.
I
Come on,
didn't know
Abundance,
that.
come on. Don't be...
I don't know him. I
Come,
don't know
come
him.
on, bro.
I don't
Come on,
know
bro.
him.
Please, please, I beg you.
I,
Come on, don't get your news from these people. We're now on social media. We have
For
the
you
biggest
page.
spaces on X. We're giving real news and real information. You're taking us back to the Zios. Don't do it. Do not do it. Okay, go ahead.
All the roads lead to Rome.
For you, maybe. Okay, let's go to what's his name again? Who was gonna speak? Was it Jay? I think it was Jay. I interrupted. Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. So, I just wanted to address Dalton's delusion for a second because America does have a strong military. That is true. We're a country of 330 million about. So, we're a huge country. We have a lot of troops, but the most advanced missiles in the world right now are actually being made in Russia. They have Oreshnik missiles, and as we can see from this conflict, if you've been following Suli Space all this time, by the way, everybody repost the space. If you've been following the space, you would know that our bases are being hit all over the region. We're being lit up all over the place. Like Bahrain is on fire. Our radar in, I believe it's, what is it, Dubai or Qatar? One of those has been destroyed. So we're not able to even shoot down Iranian missiles at this point. So we do have a lot of force, but as we can see, from all these wars in the Middle East, whenever we deploy the military, it runs up the bill. It, skyrockets our national debt. That causes inflation. So just because we've been spending a bunch of money on the military over the past few decades, it doesn't mean that it's actually beneficial for the country. So this dream you have of America using our military to dominate the world is not realistic. It's never going to happen. The country would go into debt. We would enrich a few corporations and a few oligarchs and centralized power, but it's just not actually possible for us to take over the world and dominate the world without going broke in the process. So I don't know what planet you're living on, but or if you follow what actually happens in war. But right now, Russia has the most advanced missiles on the planet. We're getting whooped in the Middle East at the moment. And sure, we can win it if we go commit boots on the ground and go into Iraq. But, I'm going to Iran, but a lot of people are going to die. So that's not a good way to spend our money. We should invest in America. We should build up our own industries. We should lead the world in technology. And we should treat other countries like trading partners instead of trying to, live in this long lost dream of colonialism. It's a new world. Technology is decentralized. We can have a great place in it without trying to dominate the whole world. And we could do it, through the free market and actually investing in ourselves, but we cannot do it by trying to be the world police and to colonize everywhere. So, I don't know where you're getting your information from, but I would suggest you keep up with the news.
Do you want to respond, Dalton? He might have moved down.
Yeah, and yeah, sorry, really quick, just to, tie that up. I hope everyone, goes and researches the Oreshnik missile. Like Russia has literally told us where they're going to bomb. We've given most advanced weapon systems to Ukraine to try to, help them defend themselves and to keep Russia tied up. And even when Russia announces the target and tells us ahead of time where they're going to shoot at, we still can't shoot down their missiles. So that's not to say the American military isn't strong. Of course it is. But, we're not the most advanced military in the world. And, there's an opportunity cost for all the money we're spending on the military. So if we were to invest that money in America instead, we would be living in the future. Japan, South Korea, all these other countries that have so much more advanced technology than us, like it would not be even close if we were to use our, power as the world reserve currency to invest in this country. But instead, we invested in wars abroad and it results in centralized power and enriching a few corporations instead of benefiting the lives of average Americans. Because the truth is, they don't want a strong middle class because that dilutes their power When we are poorer, it allows them to centralize power more, and that's why they're trying to build this surveillance dystopia. So they can keep us scared and keep us subservient.
Well said, Jay. I agree with that. And Trump's already putting down $1 trillion a year into defense, and it's not getting you much bang for your buck, is it? I feel like people with this position of Dalton that you shared, it's an odd mix of like naivety but with also like sociopathy. It's like you're naive to think that your government is on your side, or your government works for you, or your government serves you, or your government
When
is
did
looking
I?
out
Well,
for you.
Adam, when did I say
Well,
that? When did I say that?
who's going to control the world if your government
Well,
controls the
Adam,
world?
no. When did I say that my government is working for me? I
Your
think I said
position
quite the
implies it
opposite.
because you're saying you want your government to control the world, and I'm saying, why? It doesn't benefit you. So why would you
Well,
want that?
I believe, as I stated earlier, that my government is currently working against the interest of itself and its own people. I think I specifically
So
said
would you?
that.
Okay, let me clarify with you then.
So maybe you might be perhaps naive in this
So let
conversation.
me clarify it then with you. Like, it's a quick question. Would you want a revolution first before you go into controlling the world and owning the world?
No, I believe that the structure is top down. I don't think that anything is handled bottom up. There will be no revolutionary group of farmers that rises up against a government that can, launch a drone into your house directly through a window and just blow your fucking head off.
So who would you
So no,
vote
I don't
for?
believe in.
Who would you vote for to be
Well,
president
I'm
of the
not.
world?
I'm not voting. I'm a follower of. I'm a groiper. I've been friends with Nick since 2019, 2020. And I believe that he really has his finger on the pulse in the situation in terms of like our political landscape and where we go from here
Wait,
post
wait.
Trump
I see.
2016.
So
So
you'd
your
want.
answer for who you're voting for is just based on who Nick says to vote for? That's what your entire answer was.
Well, no, so first of all, I believe that Nick does have a lot more. Um, uh, he has more resources and more interior
Yeah, he's a
knowledge
Fed,
as
so
to
of
the
course he
the
does.
current
Chill,
dynamic.
Jay.
I know Nick has talked about it, but clearly he has friends that do work within the administration that believe in what he believes in, but are currently operating within that landscape. So he's getting information and. Again, I've been following him for a very long time, so I would say that it's advantageous for all of you to find someone that you not only agree with, but can trust.
Yeah,
I
I
think that's
mean,
very important.
I don't disagree with you. I happily disenfranchise myself, but I still think that's a decision you should be making, not based on what Nick Fuentes said. And I made the decision without the extra information you're saying. I
Well,
made my
I
own
think that
decision.
people oftentimes overestimate their own intelligence and their own capacity to like discern information. I
Are you
don't think that you
overestimating
are
Nick's?
more
To the
capable.
level that you can't vote. Okay.
Well, first of all, I definitely don't think that most people should not be voting. First of all, because they're incapable of doing so, because they're
But
retarded.
you're the one who just said that you can't make your own decisions and
Yeah,
you think
that's what
other
I mean.
people shouldn't vote.
Well, I didn't say that. So if you, I mean, can anybody get the clip of where I said that?
You didn't
Yeah,
say
you
you
just said that.
can't, but you said you didn't.
No, I said that I'm going to put my trust into someone who I believe is more in the know than I am.
But why don't
So
you
Well,
do
that
you
just
sounds
like
very
disagree
do
with
naive
your
to
him?
own
me.
research?
So do you disagree with him, but then you're overriding
I oftentimes disagree. So, like for
so you
example,
want to
James
vote for
Fishback.
Trump, but
Well, no, no,
Nick's
no, 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 no. I actually I do agree with Nick entirely on the question of Donald Trump. Now, in regard to someone like James Fishback, for example, who Nick recently endorsed, I find him to be extremely insufferable, almost overly charismatic to the point of social suicide, and he's a terribly uninteresting person. So, for someone like James Fishback, while Nick says to vote for him, I don't think I will be. And I do live in Florida, by the way.
why don't you trust the guy that has more info?
Well, I believe that I have a good grasp on what's going
On
on in Florida,
Fishback, but
particularly
not on
because
Fishback, but not on Trump. You have a
well,
good
yes,
grasp on
because
Fishback,
I've
but on
worked
Trump.
in yes because I've worked in Florida politics. How is this so hard for you to understand?
No, I'm just
Well,
curious. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
Fishback's a fraud, but he's better than the incumbent. But I don't think it really matters too much between them because he is a fraud,
No, it
in my
doesn't. But
opinion.
this guy, like,
Let's keep
yes,
it
some
moving
people are
forward.
going
Let's
to
keep it
know
moving
more
forward.
things. Like, you have to understand. You need to humble
I
yourself. You sound like a
understand. I
freak.
understand.
No,
I
you clearly
understand.
don't. You're bonkers. You're out of your fucking mind.
Bro, we used to
Because
follow
you
each other
clearly
on your first account.
you cannot grasp the fact that some people are going to know more than you because of things beyond your capability, because they know people within a certain group that you need information from, and that you have to be able to trust that person to then disseminate that information
Yeah, but
and be
you don't have to
accountable for that.
surrender all autonomy
Well, what did I
and
just say? I didn't. I'm not voting for James
right. So
Fishback.
I never said that he doesn't know more than me. I never said I wouldn't listen to someone like him. I do, but I'm still making my own
Oh, you
decision.
do. You do.
Like I didn't vote for
So,
Trump
what's your
I didn't
most
vote for
recent?
Trump in
What's
2020. I
Okay,
didn't
I
vote for
want
him in
to,
what's your
guys,
what's
2024.
what is your most?
But I think we should move
I
it
don't want to,
forward.
1 second. I
Yeah.
don't, this
Oh,
is,
do you, Adam? Do you think we should move
one
it forward
second.
now that Suleiman's jumping in?
No, I'm saying I don't want this conversation about who you trust or who you should vote for. I want to talk specifically about the war. That's what the space is about, specifically about wartime politics and what's going on. So let me just give some breaking news. Like, I'm more than happy for you guys to have a conversation about the war stuff, but first of all, Nick's not here, so I don't think, like, what's his name again? Dalton's his own position, his own opinion. I don't know what Nick's opinion is on this. I'll be honest with you, but I know he's generally been against. He's been more pro-Iran in this war compared to Israel. And I've not heard the entirety of this conversation because I was setting something up. But I doubt. What I think you should look at Dalton as his own position as opposed to Nick. That being said, I don't want the conversation to be about like who you trust or who you don't, or where you get a piece of information from, or the theory of information. Like, that's not what the space is about. So just bringing the conversation back. We have got visuals about Bahrain. I've already mentioned that. We also have what's it gone again?
Suleiman, can I ask you a quick
Yeah,
question? Was that
yeah.
jet confirmed a U.S. jet that was shot out of the sky?
So we know for a fact the U.S. jet was hit. I'm looking at the visual and it does look like it was shot, but you can't fully tell. But yeah, it does look like it was shot, and then the guy parachuted out. So I put the
And
video
then
up
the
so you
Yeah,
guys
one,
can
the
have a look.
video
and then
highlights too.
the one prior, another just super quick question. The one prior, I think it was earlier, maybe 5-6 hours ago. Was that a B-20 or was that a B-2 that was actually shot out, or was this just hearsay?
I'm not sure about that. Was I on at that time?
I'm not. Fuck, man. I don't know.
'Cause
I'll see if I can dig it up.
Yeah, cool. But the F, I think it's a F-18, right, Nathan? That one is. Oh no, F-15. I think it is. That one's.
It might be an F-22. People are saying both of them. I'm not too sure.
Possible. I think some media outlet was reporting it as F-15. So, so we'll see. But yeah, coming back to the question of the space, let's just bring the conversation back. Let me just see.
I sent you some stuff, Sully, in DMs.
Yeah, do you wanna read that out and give the info to everybody about the breaking news what you just got?
Yeah. So it was just interesting. Pahlavi was interviewed by, I don't know who is that's interviewing him. I don't know who that is, but he was basically asked like, so are you do you don't want to be the king? And Pahlavi was like, I am not running for office. So then the host asked, are you saying that you wouldn't lead Iran? And Pahlavi was like, that's a different thing. They trust me as a transitional leader, not as the future king or president or whatever. Which is interesting because that's for someone who hasn't been there, or he just seems to be removed from the, like, I don't know, the what they've been through. I think as a nation, I don't know, I just feel like it's really interesting, but he doesn't want to do it anyway, and I got that sentiment. There was also something breaking about the US 5th Navy fleet that was targeted in Bahrain. It looks like there was a huge fire that's broken out at that location, and this was according to the satellites, NASA satellites. So that was the latest on that.
Yeah, I actually sent you the images, Sully, if you want to have a look. Can I just make a quick comment? Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So on the jet, it's definitely not. I can rule out the F-22 because the F-22 is a one-seater, and I think it's going to be between the F-18 or the F-15. Now, they both look very similar, so it's hard to tell. I think we will probably just have to wait for an actual
Iranian missile just struck another U.S. base
yeah,
overseas.
as I said, the F-22
560 are assumed dead and critically wounded right now. That was the headlines from RT. That's the video. You're watching here right now.
Pentagon is intense and paranoid because
Trump fucked around and found out.
you know, he's quoting an article
You
saying Pentagon leaders are worried
motherfucker.
that the U.S. will expend
Oh,
its
man.
air defense
You want to see
stockpiles, and the
anti-Semitism at
conflict
an
will
all-time
spiral
high?
out of control.
Just wait.
So this is what
Every
the
single
Pentagon Joint
relative
Chiefs Staff, Dan Kane,
that
warned
brings
of.
home a loved one in a
I don't
body
know if
bag,
that's the same one that was fired.
that
but I
doesn't wear a
know,
little tiny hat.
Trump recently did fire
They're going to become
someone
the
who warned
anti-Semites of the
him,
year.
you know, that
The
this
outrage that's
wouldn't
going
go
to
the
come from
way,
these parents,
you know,
and the
he
things
was
that you're going to.
intending. So, you know, I would say, you know, we should be on the lookout for a false flag right now, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, yeah, and so just to elaborate a bit more on that. So Max Blumenthal is saying that there's you're saying that basically there's an inside source in Washington who's saying. So just to clarify, I know what you said, but just detail it a bit more for the audience.
Yeah, so you know, Max Blumenthal is reporting that you know, the leaders you know, who are in the know about our defense stockpiles are saying that we don't have enough weapons to continue this for a very long time, and they're worried that this will spiral out of control. So I guess that means they have not been successful at disabling Iran's you know, defenses. You know, I thought that would be their focus over the first few days, to try to take out Iran's ability to fire back. And clearly, we can see, based on what you've been reporting just now, Suli, you know, our bases are being hit hard, and this is after the death of Khamenei. So what we've essentially done is taken out their leader, made him a martyr, and we have, you know, energized the whole country with the rally around the flag effect. And the end result of that is the Pentagon is essentially saying this is the worst case scenario. So we either can do, like, either one of a few things are going to happen. Either they will put American boots on the ground to try to stabilize the situation. They're going to, I guess, give up in some way, shape, or form. Like, I don't understand what they could do other than those two options. So, you know, if they do all this just to give up, you know, the Republicans are going to get slaughtered in the midterms. Either way, I think at this point, you know, Trump has done a lot of damage to the Republican Party. So I don't know what's going to happen, but long story short, you know, Pentagon leaders are essentially saying we're looking at the worst case scenario for the American military and our bases in the region.
That's not looking great. It's not looking great at all. Let me bring this guy up. Let's bring this guy up as well. Yeah, yeah.
You know, back Dalton, the point you were making earlier, just to take it back to the Iran point.
Abundance,
I'm actually,
but you just make sure you keep it on track, because if you don't, then I'm just gonna, you know what I mean?
yeah, I didn't take it off track. It wasn't even between me and him. So on the Iran point, I kind of I know I'm gonna take heat, but I'm actually kind of on the imperial, you know, rah rah go USA side, right? But I just don't see how you think that this falls under that category. And there's actually no benefit that I see in what's
Okay,
the objective, right?
I don't think that this is necessarily worth a response, because I specifically said that this does not fall under that category. This We are being used as a sidekick to Israel. I literally laid it out that
So
they,
because
as
yeah,
reported
right,
by the
right,
Wall Street Journal, that we were
right.
that Israel was going to be striking Iran regardless, and we made a last minute decision to essentially serve them and suck their cocks once again in the Middle East, where we really should not be wasting time in. We should allow these people to essentially exist as they are, untouched, as we develop and
Agreed.
ready ourselves with confrontation, whether that be economic confrontation or technological confrontation with our current competitor and actual adversary, China.
I think two things on that. First thing, that's why I was kind of confused, because you said to Suleiman when you started, you said, you're going to kind of give a different take because
Yeah, but he was
you
saying
right.
that he
So
he
I
he
would. You
normally
didn't give
would.
it. Can I finish?
Yeah, yeah, but
I didn't
I
see
think
where
it's
you gave like a different take. So I think we're kind of all on the same page on this specific thing, right?
No, because
But
my take is
mhm.
ultimately I would like to see something. I would like to see a state in the Middle East. I do think that there is a strategic geographical advantage that could arise. I mean, you know, you look at the Cold War. This area was of interest to us at one point. That could happen again tomorrow. So I do think that establishing ourselves as dominant in that area of the world is certainly advantageous to us. And I would say that if we could have the backing of Iran and essentially integrate them within our empire, they would just like, I mean, how great is that? You know, instead of being constantly harassed and destabilized by Jews all day long, you get to exist, you know, in any way, shape, or form that you
You
wish
want to do
to,
the harassing and
under the
destabilizing.
umbrella and interest of the United States, you know, if it was cool and based.
Okay, the
So
second thing,
Dalton.
on what you said Israel was going to strike either way. They were going to strike them either way for the last 40 years. They wanted to do this. They haven't struck them. So I don't know why. Um,
Israel
what's that
wanted
based
what?
on?
Wait, what the fuck did you just
You
say?
said that
Israel has
Israel.
struck Iran. It's what the whole. That's what this whole thing is about. What are you talking about?
Okay, but
So we actually launched the first missile. It was a Tomahawk from
Yes, but did you
America
not see the
that
reporting?
started this. But
Marco Rubio just debriefed the 8 people or whatever in the committees and the intelligence apparatus that are need to know, and informed them that Israel was going to do this regardless and without us.
so we're just
So we made
trusting
a decisive
Miriam
decision to
Adelson's
get involved.
lapdog.
I believe that was the wrong decision, though.
He's
yeah,
Miriam
so
Adelson's lapdog.
yeah,
You
I
you
do.
guys, I mean, am I talking to people who even know what's going on? What is happening right now? And
So
also, can we
Debunk what
Dalton.
I
just move
said.
on
Debunk what I
and
said.
actually talk about what is breaking on the ground and on the news? I don't think anything that I've said has been that hyperbolic. I think all of you just have, you know, this desire to feed your own egos. Total misrepresentation of everything that I've said constantly. It's like you're not listening because you're already planning what you're going to say next. Sorry,
I'm actually
Suleiman.
very
This is
curious.
insane.
I'm actually very curious. I'm asking you genuine
Okay, cool.
questions.
I think Abundance is just getting excited because he's getting to talk to you. Right. Let me just go
What?
to um, the breaking news. Let me go back to it because I felt like that conversation. I was trying to move away from it. I didn't think it was that fruitful the first time, and then it's just really annoying. Okay. Let me go back to the what to call it again? The actual news. Explosions, and we missed this explosion. Well, it's actually a few minutes ago. Explosions heard in Tel Aviv this morning. Let me see if you can actually see the explosion here. Explosions heard in Tel Aviv. This is a couple of minutes ago when I say this morning because it's morning for them. Also, missiles heading towards Dubai. Some of them have been intercepted. Iranian ballistic missiles. Iranian ballistic missiles heard over. And Gaza did bring people up, but they dropped. So I don't know. Like it must be some kind of glitch. So if you get brought up, you get dropped. Just request again, and we'll bring you back up. And the IDF have oh no, wait a sec, I'm behind here. Okay, here Israel has launched additional strikes against southern Lebanon. Missile alert in southern Israel. And smoke, we mentioned that smoke rising from an embassy in Kuwait. Yeah, that's kind of the latest news. But yeah, Israel striking South Lebanon right now. That's kind of the larger pieces of news. Let's go
Military
to
edge.
Steel. Steel, thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well.
I do
Give
not
us
for a
your
minute think that
thoughts.
they would not use nuclear weapons
I
against
don't have a lot,
Iran.
really.
Now, on the
I
other
was,
side, you know,
often been listening to
Pakistan
today
offered to attack, to use nuclear weapons against Israel
It's good to see
to defend
Jay
Iran. If Israel got in a full-scale war with
Can you give
Iran
me kind of, because I really
and
interested in
was
earlier when we were
actually,
talking about, how the
you
oil
know,
prices may be
losing
going up and how that would impact.
its military edge,
It was kind of technical to me, but
I do not for a minute think that they would not use nuclear.
what they were talking about is how it was affecting the world and Japan and the yen and so forth. Can you just
Are
give
you
me a
talking about when they closed the Strait of Hormuz?
Yeah, I think so because today I really got like 10 or 15 minutes all day long because I've been listening to Space now for like 48 hours on. I mean, seriously, I've had it on. But yeah, I kind of missed some things today. And if I just wanted like a, 20-second or 1 minute recap of what was going on today.
Suleiman, check your DMs. This is important. This is fucking crazy.
Well, so that was something that happened yesterday where they announced that they were going to close the Strait of Hormuz, which is controlled by Iran. And so, because I think it's somewhere along the lines of, I want to say, I think it's 20 millions or 20 million barrels a day, roughly, which is equivalent to like 20% of the global petroleum that travels through there. And so major exports from Saudi Arabia go through there, from Iraq, UAE, Kuwait, Qatar, and all that. So actually, this is about 84% of that goes into the Asian markets, which is why I think they probably brought that up too. So this is going to obviously result in, a lot of the major shipping companies and all of them to suspend their transits. And this is hundreds of vessels, like including the LNG tankers and whatnot. So, I mean, this is going to I think it already had, there was an immediate impact. There was like the price hike, which I don't have any of the information in front of me right now. I need to go look at it. But there were reports of the price is rising already. But I think the long term, it's going to just continue to get exasperated and get worse. So I'm not sure how long they're going to keep it closed. But this whole thing this is why I get pissed off, because like I think that people are just we tend to narrow things down to, like the global impacts. This is going to affect a lot of different countries, and it's going to adversely impact, Americans, especially with the affordability crisis that we're under. I mean, gas prices pretty much stayed low, but energy is more than just gas. Everybody keeps talking about, well, my gas prices are low. I'm like, bro, like energy is across the board. Like this is something that's going to affect, your household energy. It's going to affect businesses. And I mean, so anyway, I think that there's so much more adverse impact, I think, economically speaking, from this than most people realize. But that was, I'll just add that to if anybody else wants to answer your questions. I was out of the loop today as well. I was trying to detox from the digital, polarity just for a day. So I'm kind of catching up as well.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there was some mention too of how China and North Korea were responding. I just caught bits and pieces that Simon and somebody else, maybe Adam, you were on. I don't remember. It was about 8 hours ago, 9 hours ago. Is that right?
Yeah, but I bet you if you go to Sullivan's page and scroll down, he's been reporting, I think, nonstop on everything that's been happening. So I think you'll probably find a ton of information there. That's what I'm doing. To go look
Yeah.
through
Okay.
some
Cool.
stuff.
Yeah. I'm just got home. All right. Thank you, Maze. I mean, as always, and thanks, Jay. I like your comments as well.
I'm dying to know what's in Sully's DMs. You know what I'm saying? I mean, whatever that crazy was has my anybody else nosy like me? I mean, tell us.
What's that?
Yeah.
What's that?
Me
Sorry.
too.
Somebody was like, yo, I sent you something crazy, and I'm sitting here like, oh my god,
Oh
he's
no,
gonna.
it's just the jet. It's
Oh,
just the jet that went down. It's just the jet. It wasn't.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Miz, can you just cover for like 10 minutes? I'm gonna and Adam, I need to record a video.
Yes, I will. I just so is anybody else gonna have a pulse check on the breaking news while we're just
Yeah,
keeping
Nathan, can
stuff?
you jump in with all the breaking news you've been sending me?
Yeah,
If you can just.
Maze, if you don't mind, can I send it to you and you just announce it, like, so, because since you're controlling the conversation, so I don't have to just keep jumping in, please, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, okay, so I'll just keep an eye out on my DMs. But yeah, so for the most part, I mean, guys, repost the space. Please hit the little comment button, the purple pill, and repost the space. Make sure you have the notifications on for Suleiman and for Beatrix. This is going to be live coverage 24/7, meaning they'll have a space open probably the entire time, just like we did with the 12-day war. But I'm kind of catching up on the news myself. So if anybody wants to give, or if you've been up and you have, a good idea of what's taken place today, and you can give us a little nutshell summary, that'd be great. Maybe Nathan, if you have a summary of what's happened. Not putting you on the spot or anything.
Yeah, it's just that I'm kind of busy in it. I can't because I'm keeping track of feeds, so I can't really do both. I'm like keeping track of multiple sources right now, so it's not easy for me to do it. Not to do
Well,
both.
I think one of the things that'll
Well,
be. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just wondering, what it's right 6:15 in the morning, I think, in London. I mean, what time do the stock markets open? And I was just wondering the impact on oil prices tomorrow morning, or any speculation.
I don't know. I mean,
9:30 a.m. Eastern.
13% rise so far. This has been reported by Bloomberg.
On what? On
Barrels of oil.
okay. Oil
you
futures,
know,
right?
I don't know.
Go
I was
ahead.
gonna ask about what you guys thought about Khamenei and them taking out the leaders. Like, what's next for Iran? I don't know if you guys talked about that.
Guys, just some breaking news before I give it this mic back to you guys. Basically, we have our first footage. This is the first strike. Turkish base, US base in Turkey has also now been hit. US base in Turkey has now also been hit.
That's interesting. And
Oh, they
also,
actually had
there's
Turkey. Yeah, that is interesting. Sorry, go ahead, Mace.
well, I was just gonna say there's explosions in Rock Herbal, in the occupied northern Iraq, and then also sirens in Manama, Doha. Go ahead, Adam.
No, because Turkey is a bit more of a serious target there. A lot of people who've been
We
complaining.
got a super chat as well saying, "Get yourself a coffee, Sully." I'm having so much coffee. I'm high on the coffee. What are you talking about? And someone else wrote, "BB, what's up?" Okay, back to you, Miz.
That's funny. You know what though? That's great advice. I need some coffee. Actually, that's what's missing. I need coffee.
Is
Um,
Turkey not in NATO?
it is. It is. Turkey
Yeah,
is definitely NATO.
yeah,
But I
that's
mean,
what
it
I'd
was
say.
a U.S. base there, and they've been hitting the U.S. bases everywhere. But
Yeah, true. No, yeah,
I don't know if it would trip the what is it, Article 5? I think that happens if they actually hit something outside of Turkey, then I
yeah,
think,
I doubt it.
or
Yeah,
outside
you're
of the
right.
base.
Yeah.
Hey, so what is the news saying? I don't watch TV. I don't watch the news, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. Are they like pushing propaganda? Are they all on the same page? What's the sentiment? Do you guys know?
I've been watching it literally all day. It is probably it's just super fucking boring. I'll be honest. I wish I could give you like some incredible story about the propaganda being pushed on TV, but I've been staring at the exact same live feed of Tel Aviv for probably 8 hours. And they are, essentially just replaying a Trump speech, and the notable people are giving their notable opinions. So if you go to Fox, you're going to get one opinion. You go to ABC, you're going to find something else. So there's obviously subtle propaganda, but honestly, like nobody's even really. There's no narrative here. I've just been listening to people recount the same events over and over again for hours. Thank God for Twitter Spaces.
No
Yeah, so
kidding.
what about, did you guys hear about, apparently there was one missile that landed, I don't know if it was one, I shouldn't say one, but there was some that apparently landed in Jerusalem. Did you guys hear about that? Was that real or fake? I figured I was going to ask you guys. I didn't have time to fact check it myself, but I think it's pretty interesting because now there's all kinds of stories that are coming out around it, but I don't know if that was true, then I would start entertaining and researching some of this other stuff. Anybody know?
I
I
thought it
think that was
was.
legitimate. I've seen a bunch of sources confirm it. So I don't. I think that was real. It was crazy that what was it, a hypersonic missile? That was like probably the I don't know. That was an incredible display of force. I can't even lie.
You know what I can't stand, and it really pisses me off so bad,
Tell
is
me.
that Trump says that Iran tried to kill him twice, and that he took him out before Khomeini could take him, and Iran had nothing to do with any of those assassination attempts, and I don't even believe that one was real, the fight one anymore, but still, like, to push this propaganda
Did they like
that
link that guy that they killed to Iran somehow or something? That's crazy. Wasn't he linked to some like leftist or something? See this? You see how they twist the news around on you?
Yeah, I know, but Trump saying that Iran is the one that's been trying to assassinate him is total propaganda, war propaganda, to make the American people think that Iran is actually trying to take out their president. Pisses me off. He's such a fucking liar.
Yeah, I agree. But he also said that he left instructions in case he was assassinated. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, I mean, that's the perfect way to frame your, like, that's, if anything, that's scary because now they can get in whoever they want. And just, they could do whatever they want and blame Iran. But I think with now, so apparently the people that would have been placed, in not necessarily like the supreme leader level, but to kind of replace some of the commanders and leaders of IRGC, they've been killed too. Reza Pahlavi is basically saying, I would just kind of be a transition. But so I guess it's just really, I never really thought through this, but what would it look like? Like, how would he, what would, a lot of times they put virtue and all the propaganda, like, yeah, we're going to go free the people, but all that gets lost in the dust of destruction. We've seen that happen with Libya, with, Afghanistan, with Iraq. I mean, hell, they did it in 53 with Iran, then 79 with Iran. Guatemala, Vietnam, they've all done the same thing, but they never did any, there was never any success story that came out of any of that. And it's going to be really sad because Iran is huge. It's 92 million people there. Um, you know, I don't know. I can't even imagine how this is going to turn out.
I like your comments though that, we don't always know, you know, it, I think that's why I'm interrupting my own self. Is that if you guys don't follow like Jay and Mays and Solomon and a lot of the people here, I mean, I do. And the reason I do is I mean, I depend on them to distill down the truth, and that's what they're trying to do. And then it's not easy today. I mean, you got AI, you got a lot of stuff, and so we, as I call them, my friends, there's mechanisms in place that we're all working together.
I
Yeah,
have
Amara,
breaking
you
news.
too. Go ahead.
Sorry, give me 1 second. So, Iranian air defense confront hostile targets in the sky of Shiraz. And so let's see, U.S. Embassy in Kuwait. They're claiming there continues to be an ongoing threat of missile and drone attacks over Kuwait. And Lebanon Ministry of Health, they've reported that 31 citizens were killed and another 149 injured. And that's not even the final toll. This is due to the Israeli aggression on the suburbs on the south. And let's see. Okay, and then the last one is that from Lebanon, the emergency government session started at Budba or Babda. I don't even know how to say that word. Sorry, palace in the presence of Army Commander General Radafa Hickel. So yeah, anyway, I'm just kind of reading off what Nathan is sending me at the same time. Go ahead. Who was talking? I think was it you, Steele?
Yeah, I mean, I was just like trying to, put things in context that you and a lot of people that we in different spaces, and because you mentioned that how sometimes we don't know, like that some of the attacks that were going on here and there. And that's why I like the people that we follow is that we're trying to just distill down the truth. And I'm quiet because everybody's asleep. But yeah, that's all I was trying to say. I like your point that you're honest and you even admit when you're wrong. And I know Jay does. Jay's been a cool friend. Andrew, I mean, all you guys. But yeah, just follow these people.
Thank you, Steele. I appreciate the kind words. You're always very nice when you come up here and compliment. And I agree. I agree with all the sentiment about following the people on the space. Really quickly, explosions were heard near Erbil Airport in Iraq. This is according to the AFP journalist. And then there was also this video that came out with Zelensky. He's saying that everyone now sees, looking at the Middle East, that Ukraine's defense experience is irreplaceable. Even Gulf states with stronger and more systems still miss part of ballistic targets and drones. We are ready to share it and help the nations that helped Ukraine. Oh, word? So apparently they're acting like they're ready to help everybody else out. That's a weird, coming from Zelensky. I don't know. It's pretty crazy because just the other day it seemed like he was begging, to just stop the war with Russia. Very interesting.
The other thing too is I want to remind people that when you're going to see politicians on the left, calling out this war and, it's an illegal war. We shouldn't be doing this. But I'm going to tell you, it's all fake and gay. They all support it. It doesn't matter who is president. They're going to use it for elections, but it doesn't matter. The foreign policy never changes. They're all the same sellout pieces of shits that have sold this country and fleeced it. All of them had done it, and they're all on the same team. So don't think that you're going to go vote your way out of this, or that you see what you're a Democrat coming out against this war, because they're all for it.
Yeah, and just to add to what Amira said just now, Kamala actually ran during the election, on Trump being too soft on Iran. She said that Trump wasn't going to defend Israel, as much as it should have been. And for those who don't know, the Democrats could actually help Massey and Ro Khanna force that War Powers Act that Massey and him were trying to bring to the floor. But instead, they've been working with the Republicans to delay it. So, what they're essentially going to try to do is have a few people from the Democratic Party who they push to the front come out and pretend that Trump, quote unquote, went about the war the wrong way. But the truth is, none of them will actually speak up against their own leadership that helped Trump, start this war. So, they're going to use it for their political gain. And, the what they did with the Epstein files is another perfect example of that. Biden was in there for 4 years. He did absolutely nothing to expose this Epstein situation. And then now Trump's in office and Democrats pretend, they're trying to protect Trump. That's why they won't release the files. Well, then why didn't Biden release the files and start the investigation? So, not to take it too far off topic, but I agree 100% with what Amir said just now. The Democrats are just as bad, if not worse. They watched the genocide go on for 2 years. They armed Israel. They didn't do anything about it, and all they're going to do is use it for politics.
Yeah, and right now Kamala's made a statement. I need to find the receipts on it, but she's even talking about supporting Israel as well.
Exactly. So, at the end of the day, American people have a lot more in common than we realize. And if we could just start where we agree, then it would be pretty easy to make, progress. The right and the left both agree no more war, and no more corruption. And if we can start there, then we can make progress. But instead, we let the politicians divide us on the social issues, which should really just be decentralized and decided at the state level. So don't fall for the Democrats' tricks. They're just gonna, weaponize this to try to make it seem like Trump is a unique problem. But the truth is, Trump only won because the Democrats suck.
Well, I mean, I guess I'll refrain from, adding my opinion in that. I think the whole two-party thing is just a whatever. That we'll save that for later.
Yeah, but amen on that, because in what Jay said, I mean, but you're talking about the politicians, not the people. I think the people, if you listen, like I follow and have a bunch of huge followers that are Democrats,
One
and
second,
when
one
they're
second, one
saying
second. So it
they're
looks
saying the
like,
same thing we are.
okay, just really quickly, it looks like a U.S. official confirmed that the American F-15 jet that went down in Kuwait was a friendly fire incident. That's really interesting. And then also NOR News
I
Agency
mean,
announced.
that's their claim because they don't want to look. They don't want it to look like they were actually hit. So that would be something that they claim, right?
I
Because
mean, I
that
don't
was
know.
something. Because that was something that the OSINT account immediately claimed before any kind of verification. And the reason they did that is because the plane, what it does is it demonstrates extreme weakness. It shows that the Americans aren't able to project power. So I think this is. I don't believe this, but anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, that's good. I'm glad that you mentioned that. I didn't really think about that side of it. I'm like, well, why would they lie? But then you're right, because then that looks like if they're able to do that, then it does look a little bit weak, because it looks, obviously there is exploitation ability if there's weakness. So that makes sense. NOR News just they said that Iranian air defenses shoot down an Israeli Hermes drone in the city of Khorramabad, west of the country. Um, but yeah, go ahead. Whoever was talking, I was just wanted to add that.
You know what people don't realize is Iran is not supposed to be that advanced according to the mainstream media narrative, and if they are able to shoot down those jets, it adds on to what happened in the 12-day war. Just to add to what to add to Suli's point, during the 12-day war, Israel said, "Oh no, they didn't really do too." They tried to downplay the damage that Iran was able to cause because they don't want the world to think that Iran is capable. So if they, are lying about this jet, it would kind of fit into a pattern of them trying to downplay Iran's power because, if they're trying to sell this to the American people, the weaker Iran looks, the better. They don't start up a war saying, "Oh, they're a tough enemy. It's going to take us a really long time to beat them," because they're a very formidable force. They're just going to try to downplay the threat as much as possible to make people think, it'll be quick and easy. So it would fit into a clear pattern of them trying to publicly, underestimate their enemy. So.
Thank you for that. We see Marwan up here. What you laughing about, Marwan? Is that the Marwan I know? Let me see. No, it's not. I don't think so. Anyway, go ahead. Did you want to speak? Maybe I just can't hear him. Can you guys?
No, we can't hear
No.
him. We can't hear him. Let's drop him down. Moran, you're gonna have to reset your thing. Let's bring a few more people up. Guys, like I said, do retweet, reshare the space, let everybody know we're live. Let's try and get as many people in here as possible. What time is it? Okay, cool. Let's go to MS. Go ahead, MS.
Oh, hi. I didn't even realize you brought me up. I was sort of I'm
I
not
made your
sure.
dream come true.
Well, hey, first of all, thanks for hosting this space. I really, really am I really appreciate it. And kudos to some of you that have pulled 23 hours plus. I guess comments I'll make is just some people I follow. I'm Canadian. Well, I guess you can see that from my thing. And just one of the callers there, and I forget who it is, but he's the guy who and I appreciate a lot of the comments he's making, but he says he's a nationalist and hey, we could have worked with Iran and we could have been really influential and used our power there. And I just thought, and I know I may be paraphrasing slightly wrong, but that is the problem with America from a geopolitical stance is they feel because they have the power that they should be intervening all over the world. And, I'm very sensitive to that right now as a Canadian, where we see massive foreign interference by the US government who's trying to break our country apart. So, you know, I just feel that there needs to be a little more respect in terms of the words we use, especially if we're America. Maybe it's time to reflect a little bit about just because you can doesn't mean you should, because at the end of the day, these are human beings. They have children. They love their children. They hurt. They ache. They want the best for their kids, just the way an American wants best for their kids. And this us versus them is the whole problem and why there's world wars. And it's so easy to just reduce people that are dead down to a number rather than to really think about what is America doing. And that's why I really appreciate this space, because for the most part, that is the tone in this space, is that this is a tragedy and this has to stop. All these wars have to stop. But I have a feeling bad things are I don't think I just have a feeling I don't know, and maybe we can talk about the submarine capacity of Iran, because I'm not sure this isn't going to hit the United States, to be honest. Um, so yeah, and I hope I haven't offended anyone. I just sometimes I think words aren't eloquently said, and sometimes our culture allows us to think a certain way when we should be reflecting a little bit on maybe how we're taught to think. I hope I made sense there.
Yeah, if I could just add one little thing to what you said, MS. I would say American people in general are not in favor of these interventions. At one point, there was an appetite for it right after 9/11 happened, but in general, American people do tend to be against a lot of this foreign intervention. In fact, what's happening in Iran right now is pretty deeply unpopular. I believe the last poll I saw said 80% of Americans either straight up disagree with it or don't see any benefit to it. So, the only caveat I would make is it's important to make a distinction between what the American government does versus what the American people want. And I think, the same thing applies to what we've been doing with Canada. Maybe there is a section of Trump supporters who do think like that, but what most people don't realize is MAGA only makes up about 23% of the country. The largest chunk of voters are independents, and then Democrats are about 23, 24% too. So, don't let, Trump be the representation of the average American because he's not. He just won because the Democrats suck pretty much.
Oh, and absolutely. And that's a really good point. And I shouldn't say like, it's so easy to say American, because I did live in the US for 10 years, and there's, some of the people I met were some of the most generous people I've ever met in my life, right? But things have changed dramatically, and I know it's just the same in Canada. The ones that want to separate, there's been research done. They're about 20% of the population, just like what you're saying, is MAGA, and they're loud, and there's bot farms running, and there's foreign dollars coming in. And so yeah, just like your country's being influenced by foreign powers, so is ours. So yeah, I guess it's come, in that respect, it's we share that, and you're not immune to it either, really, if you think about it. So, but yeah, I appreciate your comment and wholeheartedly agree that there's good people everywhere, and sadly sometimes it's the minority, the loud minority, that just sort of leaves a bad taste in everyone's mouth. But thanks again, and I will just listen.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming up. It was really nice to hear from you. Guys, do me a favor, retweet, reshare the space, let everybody know we're live. And yeah, is there, Nathan, have you got any breaking news?
Let me check. He was sending them to me. I was reading them out pretty much. Nope, I've read them all.
Brilliant, brilliant. Let me just quickly check out if there's anything else from my side. Okay, yeah, we have got. Oh, what? No way.
You get what?
Initial reports of a drone strike hitting Saudi Aramco oil facilities. If this is right, this is huge.
Where is that? Can you tell us more about?
That is major, major. Because we didn't think like oil hitting the oil facilities is like the extra major, major escalation. So if that's happened, that is crazy. That is like major, major escalation. Obviously, give me a few seconds to look into this because I just read this now. I was just trying to fill the gap with the news there, but that's that's bigger than I thought. So let me just quickly look into that. In the meantime, let's quickly go to Awakening. Awakening, thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well. Give us your thoughts.
Hey, thanks for having me. I might get some pushback for this, but there's some people up here who I'm not going to name names, but it's like they advocated for Trump. So it's like it's a bit frustrating to be like, oh, like I saw the light. It's like this was clear as day. This was going to happen, and maybe it would have happened with Kamala too. But it's like at least there would have been more political pushback because she never had that cult following, right? But it's like if you advocated. It is kind of your fault to an extent because it's like, with the Epstein stuff, with the Khomeini, um, so it was just obvious that this was going to happen, and so if you voted, it's your fault to a smaller extent. If you advocated, it's to a bigger extent, and it's impossible to know what the other direction would have been. And it's the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? But it's like, he's always been a con man. It's always been about his ego. This was, if you looked at what he did, not what he said, it was always the obvious direction. Who was backing him. That it was never going to be another way. And I agree that it's a time for unity, and at the very least, don't believe what Vance says because he's going to say whatever he thinks is right, same as Trump. But if you're voting for him, it's voting for your enslavement. But anyway, that's besides the point. It is a bit frustrating.
Who are you voting for?
I'm not sure. I hope someone else in the primary. But I mean, disclaimer: I didn't vote in the last election, but
I am seeing.
I thought they were.
Yeah, thanks for that, Wick. And I just want to bring it back to the actual news. No, I appreciate your comments as well. I'm not trying to minimize what you said. But just some news. It's quite major. I have seen it in a number of sources. It's not completely confirmed, but initial reports are saying that there's been a drone strike on Saudi Arabia Aramco oil facilities. That will make the price of oil skyrocket. I believe the last time the Houthis did that ended up being major. So it does look like Saudi oil fields may have been hit. So let me just quickly saw that, but yeah, it does look like Saudi oil facilities may have been hit. Let me send the panel who I can speak to about this. Andrew,
I don't.
go ahead.
I don't have any knowledge on that, but I asked you guys earlier today. That's what I asked you like 9 hours ago. Had any of the oil fields have been hit yet? And this is the first one, right?
This is the first one that I'm aware of. Yeah.
Well, I remember hearing that if they were to hit any of the reserves, I think in Iran, that this was going to be what they do to retaliate. But I haven't heard anything. I don't know. That's crazy. But I don't
I'm
even
gonna
know
say
if that's true. That maybe I should caveat and say that I don't even know if that part is true.
Yeah, this is crazy. So Saudi Arabia, possibly Aramco, oil facilities have been hit. Adam, are you there?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I
Adam,
just saw.
you're kind of you touched the market a little bit. What happened last? Do you know what happened last time when the oil facility? I know the oil price went up to like 100, right?
Yeah, yeah, it did. And if this is part of a larger tactic to go after oil fields and oil rigs, this is going to lead to like a global hyperinflation and recession. On top of like closing the Strait of Hormuz, this is arguably it could be worse. Because once you set fire to these oil fields, it can take months. It can take like up to a year to put out the fires. So it is quite serious.
But yeah, Adam, didn't you like a month ago when we were talking about this? Didn't you kind of say like strategically this would be kind of the way they would go about it? And I was kind of wondering. That's quite. I mean, I'm just in the background. I was
Yep.
just wondering when they would do this.
Sully, check your DMs.
Did you say why or when?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
No, what you guys were talking about like a month ago, you and Solomon were, and
So let me just get some
Simon were
more. Let
talking.
me just get some more breaking news. The U.S. Fifth Navy Fleet was targeted once again in Bahrain. A fire has broken out at the location. And then this one is wow. Yeah. Okay. Now I know what you said. Wow. Okay. So Maze, this is it. So this is the one Maze sent me, which is Ukrainian drones apparently struck the Sheksaris oil terminal in the southern Russian port city of Novorossiysk overnight on March the 2nd. Fires were reported at the site, a key export terminal linked to Russian state-owned pipeline company Transneft. So that's another oil uh, terminal that was also hit. This could end up hitting. This could have a major impact on global oil prices and could cause a major issue. I mean, I believe the last time when the oil when the Houthis hit the oil depot, oil hit the Saudi oil, I believe it hit 100. But let me just check. Adam, do you want to just add to this about in the market?
Yeah, yeah. So if they have started it on a campaign to do this, then yeah, oil prices are going to go to the moon, which will have knock-on effects. It'll just raise the price of everything because it's literally used for everything, and with the impact on global shipping and fuel prices based on the close over the Strait of Hormuz, these things, you know, this is going to be a massive shock to the global market, and lead to like I mentioned, hyperinflation, business costs going up, fuel costs going up. America is somewhat insulated because they have reserves, they have resources, but it's who's going to be uniquely squeezed. We're going to feel this a lot more than everyone else because we're already suffering. We're suffering from fuel prices increasing from the Ukraine war and buying our energy at a premium. So this on top of that, it's going to lead to like, I mean, businesses are already going out because they can't keep the lights on. And in the UK, we have this saying, people deciding between. Um, yeah, so
Barack,
business.
can you please mute your mic while you're up here until sorry, there's a little bit of feedback. Thank you. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, so businesses are going out of business at a rapid clip, much faster, and it's literally due to like how much it keeps to literally keep the lights on, and it's affecting everyone. In Europe, like Europe's poverty and the rates of at which businesses go out of business and all kinds of economic and financial metrics have been on the decline um, since the Ukraine war started. And a massive part of that is energy prices increasing. You know, America gets to sell us fuel at a markup, and profit from that. And like I said, they have their own resources. So Europe is caught in the middle. So France and UK and Germany taking part in this war is so stupid. It's like it's treason. It's treasonous. It's treasonous and idiotic. You know, because Europe, if our leaders cared about us, would be advocating for this to end as soon as possible, not to expand it. So yeah, that's going to be quite a knock for us if this pans out to be if the Saudi Aramco oil facilities are actually being hit, and if there's any more oil rigs being hit, because there's been one oil rig, and now potentially two, and also now this with the oil facilities. So we'll see, and it also depends on what the Epstein Axis does, because if they back Iran into a corner, they're going to be pressing these red buttons, and these are the red buttons that are available to them. Killing Khomeini was a big mistake because it really it lit a fire under Iran. It didn't alter their operational effectiveness. It galvanized the country, and it really, it's just made them, it's just given them even more impetus to strike out, and right now striking Turkey. That's really brave of Iran, because that's expanding the field of war. And they're not caring about the fact that, like we mentioned, NATO, Turkey and NATO. So Iran really has no chill, as it were. So yeah, that's I think due to the stupid terrorist illegal war, offensive war, by the Epstein Axis, but also the mistake of taking out Khomeini, and Khomeini's replacement might be even more hardline than he was, and may have a different view on the nuclear bombs, because his fatwa is no longer binding. It can be repealed by the next leader. So we'll see if that happens. But yeah, Trump has played this completely wrong, in my opinion. They've completely underestimated Iran and completely made the situation like 10 times worse. And the fact that they've had to pull in European countries to help Israel shows that they must be getting their asses handed to them, because even though there's a media blackout in Israel, we're seeing just tons and tons of footage of them getting pummeled, and the just large areas of rubble looking reminiscent of Gaza. So I think this hasn't gone their way at all. They keep telling the Iranian people to rise up. They're not rising up. The country's in mourning. Millions of people took to the streets to both mourn and call for revenge, revenge upon the terrorists that did this. And it's not just even Iran. Like, millions and millions of people around the world um, are in mourning and calling for revenge, because Khomeini was like almost like a papal figure to Shia Muslims, and he was respected around the world, even by a lot of Sunni Muslims. So yeah, this isn't going to end anytime soon.
Yeah, but this
Awesome
Yeah,
job,
oil
bro.
yeah,
extraction.
Awesome
he
job,
was
Jordan.
86 years old. He was 86 years old, so he wasn't fearing death. He stayed in his home as
Allegedly, he had cancer too. They were expecting him to die within the next year. I don't know if that's confirmed.
well. Well, there we go. I don't know. Like, at 86 years old, there's not many chances to make yourself a martyr, and
But
he needed to.
I just,
Mhm.
when you were speaking, I could not help but shake the fact that
So, guys, just one thing. Sorry, Abundance. I'm gonna give it straight back to you. Apologies that I'm interrupting you. Guys, I've got another video out. But your boy's graphing, bro. We're running this space. I'm pulling out videos. You know how it is. And by the way, good news as well. Okay, I'll give you the good news in a second. We've got Professor Morandi. I'll give you now. Professor Morandi's coming on in about, like, I don't know, like an hour or something, an hour and a half. So we'll have him on as well. But just before that, guys, what was it again? Okay, yeah, the video is live. It's the tweet in the. It's not the tweet in the nest. Somebody put the wrong one in the nest. I'm gonna put it in the nest, so I kind of flopped there. And do me a favor again, as per what we normally do. And only a few people do it, but guys, give us your boy your support. If you're on the YouTube, if you're on the X, just open another tab. Keep listening to the space, but just open another tab. It's basically a recap of exactly what happened with the fighter jet. It just goes through it all, because sometimes people miss the information. We've had many people come on here and say, guess what, we've missed the information. Can you give us a recap? And that's what those videos are. It's like a recap of what's happened up to now. So if there's any major point, like, for example, when we get more information about this oil stuff, I'll probably do another one on that. But at the moment, there's not enough information out there on it. So, guys, for that reason, if you could do me a favor, I'll put in the YouTube comments as well. Open a tab up on your YouTube and just like the video, comment on it, like the video, comment, and let's try and get at least 100, 200 likes on these videos, to try and push them. I was told in one of the comment section that they're intentionally deboosting it because they tried to repost one of the YouTube videos. Apparently you can do it like as a community post or something on your own page, and they were like, it wouldn't let them. So because they're doing that, we do need your support to fight against the Zios. We know they control things, but we could sit here and complain they control, or we could do something about it. So if you can do me a favor, if you can do that for me, that would be awesome. And shout out to Ketma with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you for so much support of the channel. Appreciate you. Um, let's so yeah, if you can do that, open it. It's gone live now, I believe. So open the tab up. It's about the fight. It's only like 8-minute video, so you don't have to open the tab up for like 8 minutes. I'm keeping them short, bite, snappy, so you can get that. So open the tab up if you're on the YouTube. If you're on the X, open the tab up as well. Show your boy some love. Show your boy some affection. Let's try and boost this YouTube channel so we can get the information out to everybody in real time, in real information. I only got 70 people who've done that, guys. Come on, we've got between the two things, we've got 6,000 people. I'm sure we can get like at least 10% of the people to open up a tab for us. Appreciate it. We're gonna wait for more information on the Saudi Aramco oil facility, whether it's hit or not. But yeah, we'll give you more information on that. Sorry, back to you, Adam. Sorry, I interrupted.
Um, yeah, I was just saying while you were speaking, Adam, it's just insane to me. It's deja vu. How many times have we heard the same thing over and over again? N- We're going to be greeted as liberators. They're going to topple the regime with us. It's going to last a few days. Over and over and over again, we hear this, and the politicians go along with it or even believe it, and they sell it to the American people. And it's ridiculous. Again, we see Iranians are not rising up to participate in this CIA Israel Mossad coup. And it's just insane that we don't learn from our mistakes. I do think the one saving grace, though, might be what you mentioned a few hours ago. I think, Suleiman, you made a point about how he is sensitive to and susceptible to public pressure, Donald Trump. And I really agree with that because you could see the operations for ICE in Minneapolis. I mean, he shut them down because of the outrage, right? So that was 2 people killed on video. Wasn't good optics, and he shut down a bunch of uh, operations, right? And he stopped the uh, the random checks on the street. So I think when the reaction is this vigorous and so vociferously against the war, he's definitely feeling the pressure right now. And I think that's why they tried to reach out through Italy.
Guys, just a little bit. I was doing a little digging, and by the way, I'm watching your video.
Legend.
Zoe.
Tell them,
Yeah,
Liz.
man.
Tell them. I think when a chick tells them, they're more amiable to listening.
Yeah, man, you guys should definitely go. It's so easy. I have it open. I'm listening to him there. Make sure you like it. This is how you support people because the algorithms, whenever it's showing that there's people that are watching it that like it, I'm letting the whole thing play out. It's really good to like let it play out, but that really helps him and it boosts his ability to get information out. We're fighting the propaganda machine. And without the support of the people, it's incredibly an uphill battle. So everybody can just go pop it open and make sure he puts the links up there to make it easy for you guys. And go hit the like button. I commented on this one. I'm going to check out his other ones while we're going to be up all night. I might as well, make sure that we're boosting his algorithm there too. But really quickly, so I was looking at so there is confirmation that it was hit, the one in Saudi Arabia. And hold on, where did it go? Let's see. And the one in Ukraine, that seems to be, this is true too, but that seems to be where they've been targeting all their strikes. They struck like the drilling platforms, and all that stuff recently. They also conducted a long-range drone attack in the Black Sea oil terminals. But it hasn't been crippling per se. However, the most recent one that we just talked about, is going to cut Russia's intake about 250,000 barrels per day. The other ones weren't that big. This one seems to be a bigger one. Now, with the one in Saudi Arabia, what they did confirm is that it was it hit the okay, so the export and Saudi Aramco export infrastructure, there was a disruption, and so this is going to be the LPG terminal occurred due to structural damage. So they're going to be halting the LPG shipments temporarily, but there is not a time frame that's reported. But I guess the greatest impact still so far is the strait being closed down. That is huge. And I think with it being undetermined how long it's going to be, the markets are reacting violently.
Symbolically speaking, it is a gigantic escalation because up to this point, they haven't struck any of the oil fields, and they're specifically saying it's only American military installations and Israeli military installations that are being targeted. So, it is definitely a pretty big, a pretty big escalation. But, I guess my question would be, does anyone have an idea on how long this type of thing could take to fix? Because I know as Russia has been striked in the past on their energy infrastructure, they do have the ability to fix it fairly quickly. So, from what you said just now, Maze, it sounds like this is a bigger disruption than what they've faced before. Did the article you read, say anything about how long something like this could take to fix?
Let me pop that and let me pop this into this is a good way to use your AI tools is to be able to put stuff in and ask it questions. Especially when the questions are not necessarily polarized, it's able to give us an accurate answer. So let me see. I will check it out. Good question. And I'll do that for the Aramco one too.
Just to get from the guys, in terms of the Saudi Aramco, we've now got our first visuals of the Saudi oil facilities being hit. I'm also seeing reports that this might have been from the Houthis. This may have been a strike by the Houthis. So that's just more information. Obviously, we'll continue to give you the information as and when we receive it. But it seems like the Houthis have now entered big time. They already were in it, but now this is a major, major escalation. Houthis seem to have joined the war. Houthis seem to have been the ones who attacked the oil facilities. So that's the latest news on that. Sorry, Miz, were you speaking?
Actually,
Okay.
so it shows that well, what I'm looking at from the different news channels and even from Reuters, it's showing that that was Iran. But that's interesting that you're
Yeah, actually, I'm seeing Iran as well in other places. So let me edit this post quickly and say reports this may have come from the Houthis, but also.
What are the chances it was a USS Liberty type situation, and this is their way of trying to force Saudi Arabia to get into the fight? Because they apparently they're saying that Saudi Arabia is pushing behind the scenes for America to strike, but they haven't been saying it publicly. And I know Beatrice said it's the exact opposite. She says the GCC is resisting. So, could this be a USS Liberty type situation that's being blamed on Iran?
Bro, I have to
It's
say this.
possible. It's 1 second, bro. It's possible. It's possible. It's worth considering. It's worth considering. It's going to be interesting if the Iranians confirm it or not. That will give us an idea. But go on, Abundance. You were going to say something?
I think it's really important in every space, right? For every speaker to keep at the top of their mind Occam's razor. Like the simplest explanation is usually the correct one, right? Like I don't know why we instantly jump to a USS Liberty false flag or whatever. I mean, it's worth mentioning and considering, like you said, but it's just I feel like it's constant every single one. that
Well,
comes just like
it's somewhat simple. I mean, I think it's X space. It's worth exploring all different possibilities and options, and worth having those conversations. That being said, I think that one's an easy one because if Iran comes out and says it wasn't us, then you can go down this rabbit hole quite easily. If Iran doesn't say that, then it's kind of a different situation. That makes
yeah,
sense, right?
yeah, of course. I just want to avoid like us being having a kind of tarnished. People
Well, it's
say,
not
oh,
us.
like a
No,
QAnon.
no.
It's like a
Let's be
QAnon
no, but
space,
let's
like a
be clear on
reputation.
this. There's no us, and what I mean by that is every individual on this space has their own individual views and thoughts and ideas,
True.
and and I don't think there's anyone who has the same opinion as me on every single issue. So. Everyone who comes on the space are representing their own ideas and thoughts, and then we're discussing them. But none of them reflect my positions because my positions
Yep.
are like completely different to everybody else's on
Yeah.
almost everything.
Yeah, and also I
I
was
think
just
actually Suleiman updates has agrees with you on every stance, so you're wrong.
yeah,
Yeah, he's on
yeah.
it. He's a smart guy though. So.
Yeah, and I was just asking a question. I wasn't saying that, I thought that was exactly what happened. I was just saying, what do people think the possibility of this is? Plus, I do
It
think
wasn't
it's
targeted
worth.
towards you. Don't worry. Just in general.
No, I got you. But also, it is a good way to bring up the history because maybe there's still some people out there who don't know what Israel did with the USS Liberty, where they tried to bomb one of our ships and blame it on Egypt. So, it's a good way to remind people about who we're dealing with.
Hey, can I finish my question to Adam?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I mean, Adam, we got like 45, 6,000 people total listening in the space. And it's certainly we have people who are, that are probably not speaking it, understand oil and the refinery. I mean, and look, this is a speculation. It's not it, the oil that this, like the Keystone pipeline, it's like a sand. It's like it's like when they say crude, it's like a sludge oil. Does the United States have the ability to refine that? And I know that I listened to somebody like 3 or 4 years ago who were saying, no, we don't. Um, and I'm just wondering how much of this, because I'm a believer, and I know I get pushback on this, that, if an alien was to come to this planet, and I don't believe in all that shit, but, what would they want? And I think our world runs on energy, right? So the amount of energy that we all need, China or whatever, I think for the most part that I've seen in at least since the Industrial Revolution is the fight for energy. Am I like way off base here? And is this, part of it?
Is what part of it? Sorry, the fight for
Uh,
energy.
the f- yeah, fighting for
Yeah,
energy.
yeah,
I mean, like,
absolutely. It's a resource. The world is heading in a resource. It's becoming a resource world. It's becoming a commodities based world. I've been advising my followers for like a long time now to abandon fiat currency, which is like dollars, euros, etc., and put it into commodities instead, because commodities are going to the moon, and they have gone to the moon because silver was like $17 a few years ago, and now it went up to 120, and it's probably going to like 500 or something like that. Gold is a similar story. Nickel is a similar story. Copper is a similar story. Platinum, palladium, all kinds of commodities. If you look at the chart, rare earths and the companies that mine them as well. If you look at the charts, they've gone crazy. They've gone crazy, and I kind of was able to predict that because of geopolitics. Geopolitics kind of informs you of this because it mixes with economics. Like economics and geopolitics are both very important there. So yeah, in understanding the world, because it gives you a broad understanding that we are running out of resources. Because we're so indebted in the West. We've spent all this money on all these pointless wars for Israel. You know, our deficit spending is too high. We're spending more than we're pulling in, and our currencies are going towards zero. America is $40 trillion in debt. Like I mention that as many times as I get, because it literally is the apocalyptic neon blaring siren that everyone should be paying attention to. Like you are $40 trillion in debt, and a lot of things are informed around that. So yes, there's going to be more aggressive imperialism and adventurism and jingoism. um, to kind of, you know, secure as much resources as possible. It's a mad dash. It's a mad dash for as much power and resources as can be stolen and secured before time runs out, before the debt kind of explodes in our faces. That's not to say that it's going to benefit you at all. It's actually going to be benefiting a select few. Unfortunately, your lifestyles are going to keep getting worse as the average person. But
Just some
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but and the thing is
appreciate.
that
Let me get
the
some breaking
reason they're
news.
hard.
Yeah, go
Still,
ahead.
let
Sure.
me. Okay, the operation in Lebanon. This is a security official, Israeli IDF guy. So the operation in Lebanon will be wide and comprehensive and may include a ground invasion. Well, they lost last time when they tried to do a ground invasion.
I know intellectually, but like seeing it happen is something different. But yeah, back to the resources thing. Yeah, like some people posit that Trump's actions here are based on kind of trying to isolate BRICS as much as possible by taking over South America and then isolating Venezuela, isolating Iran, which are two of the biggest oil providers to China and to Russia and to BRICS in general, because BRICS is where all the resources are. BRICS is where all the commodities are, and the future kind of belongs to them. And so America is kind of caught in the reacting, in a reactive place, which it doesn't want to be in, and so its behavior is becoming increasingly erratic. As there's not much, as it realizes it doesn't have much time left to kind of project its power before it becomes the poor man, the poor side of poor side of the world.
Yeah, because like
Hold on
when
one
we,
second.
AI is
Yeah, go on, Mace.
I'm trying to figure out how recent this is, but I think it just happened where Saudi is now kind of demanding an explanation from Iran. Um, this is their, I guess the exact verbiage was about Saudi has summoned Iran's envoy and condemned the attacks in the Gulf territory.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, yeah. If they've attacked Saudi's oil infrastructure, that's really going to piss them off, because you have to understand. I mean, I'm sure you do, like, but the viewers have to understand that, you know, these are proud people. They're already pissed off. It's already causing a lot of division, actually, a lot of fitna, a lot of you know, they're not happy. And also, you know, Saudi is resolute in its position that it doesn't have US bases. It says that it has bases that are used by the personnel and it's purely for training, etc., etc. They have, but if Iran is going to be striking its oil fields, then I honestly I can't predict what's going to happen next there. But yeah, sorry.
But let me
Yeah,
finish
go
and
ahead.
I'll
Yeah,
land
go
my
ahead.
I'll land my plane soon. So
Mhm.
my point is with the AI, and I know my background is technology. So the resources that we're drawing down, like energy, I mean, it takes energy. That's what the universe runs on, is energy. And so Elon Musk, I don't always agree with him, but he's not stupid. So the universe, and so he's trying to tap into it. I mean, if you just run any
Okay,
kind of
Steele, can we just give the conversation back on the war? Um, you know, I get it in terms of the conversation we've had. It was linked to the Saudi oil attack, but we're just kind of digressing a bit way too much now. Just back, let me just give some breaking news, and then I want the conversation back onto that. That's all right. Chief, what was it? The Israelis said that there is no immunity for any military or political figure in Hezbollah, not even for those who support it. And there is claims that there is other deaths as well. Let me give the mic to Maze. Back to you, Maze, and if you want to just give some of the news, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so this is interesting. I'm trying to see how long ago this was, but basically, and I will caveat this, this is coming from the Kremlin. I don't know how great of a news source that is, but it seems to have a whole lot of views. And anyway, and they have a
The
video.
Kremlin
It
is the
says
Russian
Israel
government.
Security Cabinet has been, I mean, the reason why is because what I'm about to read is pretty crazy, but it says Israel's security cabinet has been wiped out by an Iranian hypersonic missiles, a direct hit with exact coordinates, several top Israeli generals dead. Is this true? Let me send this.
I would just verify something like that because
Yeah.
some accounts do post that stuff just to get virality as opposed to accuracy. So
Is
Okay.
that from the Kremlin's account? Because that's the Congress basically of Russia.
That,
no, but
yeah,
that won't be the official Kremlin account. It'll be some account that just call
Yeah.
themselves the Kremlin account.
I just sent it to you, Sully. I won't post or really.
Can you send me the Saudi statement? Because you said there was you mentioned the Saudi
Yeah,
statement
yeah,
as well.
I got you. I
That
will.
as well. Appreciate it.
Dalton is back. Welcome back, Dalton.